So tonight's show is being led by Richard and Kate.
Okay, good evening. So we've got a couple of fixed points this evening, maybe 3 fixed points where we kind of know what we're doing, and the rest of it is going to be down to a certain amount of serendipity. We'll just sort of see what happens, and we're just waiting while somebody creeps in a very, very malevolent and bizarre way. That
must be Chris.
Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah, watch that guy at the back. So we're going to start off with one of those fixed points, and I am going to invite Mr. Scott Kingsnorth and Mr. John Oram to come and join Kate and myself up here on the stage. We'll move the sacred Louis XIV's chairs out of the way, and I'm going to invite Paul, who is going to be master of ceremonies.
Are we doing a square?
We're going to do a square.
Okay.
Right, now we want some suggestions for the audience. And the first 2 people up to be suggested at, could you give me an occupation, a hobby, a job that involves some physical danger?
Cleaning windows on high-rise buildings.
Cleaning windows on high-rise buildings. Do we have any other offers? Anybody else?
Mountaineering with a group of youngsters.
Scaffoldinger.
They're all very similar, aren't they?
Yes.
All involving height.
Height.
Height. So I think we'll go with the mountaineering with the school children. then,
Okay.
Whatever. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Right. +1.
Which way are we doing +1?
+1 is.
Oh, sorry.
Right. For I've got just the one for these. An annoying habit.
Chewing loudly.
Chewing loudly. It's a nice one. Any other offers?
Flatulence.
Chewing loudly and flatulence. Do you
Yeah,
think?
why not?
Yeah. Let's have both of them. So you either or both.
We have one each.
Have one each, or both each if you want. +1. Now, for these 2, I got the feeling we want an important point in history.
Oh shit.
Gunpowder plot.
The gunpowder plot. Right, excellent. +1. Now for our 2 hosts tonight, especially, I want a problem that needs solving.
Holes in the road.
It's a good one. It's a very good one. Shall we have holes in the road on a motorway so we can put some danger in there, or any other suggestions? I'm not ruling it out yet, Michael. So, a problem that needs to be solved. Any other ideas?
Damn, I say Brexit.
Oh,
bigger
problem. Yeah.
I think so. Brexit. I'm sorry.
Which is a bit of a hole in the road.
Yes. +1.
We are mountaineers and school trip.
School outing.
School
outing mountaineers.
Up a mountain.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
+1.
Annoying habit of.
I chew loudly.
I fart a lot.
We are in the time of the gunpowder plot.
You are the gunpowder plot.
We may well be the gunpowder plot. And we are
Solving the problem of Brexit.
Right,
Oh.
+1.
possibly.
Right, this is the starting pair. So you'll soon pick up what I do in this. But
Okay.
Okay.
Have I got it on right?
Yeah, you are. It's just tied around your middle, isn't it? And you've got all the other. Where's the rest of the coach trip, miss? Are they still on the coach? They're down there, are they? Okay. Well, Mrs. Havisham, we're just gonna have to haul up the rest of the kids. It's all right, kids. Hold on. There we go. Just go. All right, Timmy. Just
+1.
Don't keep.
What?
You were this side, weren't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
So +1 is back.
No.
Kate's
No,
forward.
No.
Kate's gone back.
Kate's gone back.
We're fine.
I went back.
Yeah.
Oh,
we're-
sorry, you swapped round
yeah.
during the
Okay.
performance.
But
Sorry.
thanks for your notes.
Can you just stop dropping your gum on the floor?
No, sorry.
Oh, for God's sake!
Dad.
It's
No.
disgusting.
No.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Oh.
Ah,
I just.
what is it?
Nothing. It's
Just-
I'm
just-
just
just-
feeling a little
just-
bit faint again. I've
What?
got to keep chewing the gum because the minty smell.
Well, just chew quietly because it's really annoying. I've got things to do.
Okay.
All right?
+1.
So, Guido,
Yeah.
my friend,
Yes.
you got the matches.
I have. I've
You've got the matches.
Lucifer's in my pocket.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
5 times in a row you forget the matches.
Well, I've got them this time.
Tonight you've got the
Yep,
matches.
there it is.
Where's the king?
The who?
The king.
He's upstairs.
He's upstairs.
He is. Yeah.
The one we go boomf.
Yep.
Yeah?
Just the one thing, and he's up.
He's up.
Yep.
Where's the gunpowder?
It's just behind you.
Just behind me.
Yep.
Where? Where just behind me?
That.
This is the gunpowder.
Yeah.
This?
Yeah. Are you ready?
This? I'm back. Yeah.
+1.
So, what are we going to do?
Another fine mess you've got me into.
I know. I was the minister for filling in holes in roads, and they suddenly made me Brexit.
Well,
Well, frankly, so
in or out, hard or soft? How do you want it?
you're my under-secretary. They don't call you my under-secretary for nothing. So you tell me, how are we going to play it? In or out, or hard or soft?
-1.
So now, look, I've blown the match out now.
How many matches have you got?
I got 2 actually.
You got
luckily.
another one?
Yeah, luckily.
I don't know why. I just feel somehow
That's not enough.
I don't. It is that, but also I don't want you to set fire to the gunpowder whilst it's in my hand, Guido.
Maybe if we stick it to the ceiling, because that's where I think the king's about there.
Right.
I've got some gum in my pocket.
All right. Put the gum. Chew it up.
Yeah, mix
Put
it
it-
in
mix it in there.
Mix it in there. And
Put it up
stick
there.
it.
One day they're going to invent something called Semtex. It's going to
Can I
be just
touch
like this. Okay, just lift me up. Lift me up. There you go.
You alright?
There, yeah, you got a
Okay,
match.
I've got the match.
Yeah. I can't hear anything up there, though.
Sorry?
I can't hear anything up there.
Can you not?
Are you sure the king's up there?
Yeah, this is
-2. Minus.
Oh, -2.
Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right, we got most of the kids back, so that's good. I think it's only the little ones. They went a little bit slow, so
Did
they're
you
probably.
get all the parental consent forms?
Oh, do we need paperwork now?
I'm just rather concerned we're going to have an issue when we get back down.
Okay, well, I'm pretty good at forward. Kids, you can just. All right.
Okay. Okay.
I just do a squiggle on this piece and that one. They'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah,
fine
I'll buy
if,
that.
if
I'll
Timmy
buy that.
dies.
Okay,
That's what
okay.
that says. We're just file that.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you.
All right. So where are we? We're at base point now. Is this, or are we up higher than that? I completely.
We are up quite high.
We're up quite high. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
And I might just chance my. Oh God, that is high. That is high.
You're not very good with heights.
No,
are
no,
you?
no, no. I might just. Oh, that's a
And
little bit
so,
better. That's a little.
why are you the lead teacher on this project?
Because I'm a geography teacher, and that's what we do. Well, I mean, but perhaps we should retreat while we're going, all right? Or do you want to go to the summit?
+1.
So what have we
Sorry?
got for dinner, Dad? We've got
Well,
beans,
yes.
beans,
Yeah, that's mine.
Beans.
Yeah. The 2.
beans.
Yes, that's fine.
Okay.
3 is enough tonight.
Yeah. All right. Well, forgive me. I don't have any. So how you cooking? Do you mind if we open the window? I know it's 40 below, but just how are you cooking that, Dad?
Sorry?
How are you cooking that, Dad?
I'm cooking it well.
Yeah. I think.
Yeah. Okay, I'm ready.
No wonder Mum left. You didn't think to leave any. For it's all right. It's all right. I mean, I'm on the Wrigley's diet. Settling. Oh, Daddy's stripping the paint.
Last one.
Well, that went well.
Yeah, it did. It really went well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do we get out of all this rubble?
Oh, I don't know. What? Anything drop like a king?
No. Well, there's a head there. No, there is a head
Has it got
there.
a crown on its head? I
Is
can't
it?
see. There it is, boy.
Is that?
Yeah.
Hey. Oh, it suits you, Guido.
Yeah.
Oh, King
What do you
Guido.
think? What do you think?
Oh, sir. Sir, let me curtsy to
Oh,
you.
that's very
Yeah.
good, okay.
So what laws will you enact?
I think we should join Europe.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think make friends with all the nations?
Yeah, that
You know, we
sounds...
don't want any of these wars.
+1.
So that went well. Now we're out, didn't it? I'm a bit hungry though.
Yeah.
No food.
Shame is you like
Sh-
cheese, don't you?
Bit of a shame,
Bit of
but
a
look,
shame.
You see, we're getting further away. Look, can you see?
Yeah.
Calais is definitely receding into the distance. Those motors we put
It's
on-
lucky, isn't it, this being on an island?
and they're movable
Yes,
with the
yeah,
outboards.
yeah.
It's good. It's a bit shaky, but
Yeah,
And look over there. Look, it's the coast of America getting closer.
Oh, the motherland!
The motherland,
The motherland,
the Trumpian
we belong.
land,
Where we belong!
with Donny,
with all the
Donald.
English-speaking
Yeah.
people!
-1.
So I think that's it. That's my role in life now. Do you think?
You look great, but
Yeah. Will you be my queen?
I'll be your queen. I'll be your anything.
Oh, that would
Yeah.
be lovely. There we go.
There we go.
We just have to convince
We
the
just-
people.
Oh. Okay,
I think
so
we should have used the farting to blow up the
this
king
is where it starts to get a bit random. So we like playing games, and we like playing games so much we like to be surprised every time. So my glamorous assistant will pass around an envelope for one person to select a game, which will be the next game that we play.
So you'll say the same thing.
Nope. We wouldn't stoop so low. You can read it out. If you can read it, you can read it out.
It's monkey.
Monkey.
Monkey is
okay,
the
fantastic.
Monkey.
So we need some
Oh
willing
my god.
volunteers. Jean and Jill.
We don't know what monkey is.
It's a sitting down thing. Okay, so you two are the sitting down people.
Yeah.
And then we have two monkeys, and we're going to have Chris, who's a very cheeky monkey. And
We've got too big a repertoire.
Just a minute. I think it's the wrong person. You mean Jill, don't you?
no, I mean
Oh, you
Jill.
mean- okay.
So is there,
Your name's Jill.
My stage name
Is-
is Jilly.
Yes.
is there someone who has played this game? John, we'll have you as a monkey as well. please.
I can't remember. Although,
No, thank you very much. Okay.
But we'll get to go.
Okay. So, can we have first of all a situation for Jean and Jilly? Where are they?
Pharmacy.
They're at a pharmacy. Okay, you're at a pharmacy, and since you're sitting down, you're waiting for a prescription or something like that, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're at a pharmacy, and you are Jean's monkey,
Okay.
and you are Jilly's monkey,
Right.
and the monkeys say the things that
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Jean and Jilly
We speak
aren't
thoughts.
saying out loud, but are thinking.
Oh, okay. So they speak, but we
So do
say
we-
their thoughts.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
When did you hand in your prescription then?
Oh,
She's such a nosy bastard.
I didn't actually have a prescription.
Oh.
I've come about the mole.
Oh. Oh. What, the mole in your garden?
There she goes again, asking more questions.
You know, that mole, it sort of keeps changing.
Oh God, don't tell me.
She's misunderstood mole altogether.
Oh, yeah, which? The one you were talking about last week?
The one that itches.
Oh.
Oh, stop now.
Yeah.
The itchy mole on my nose.
I'll feign interest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do I look at it?
Since last week, yes.
You're uglier.
Yes.
God, she looks superior.
I wonder if I should tell her she smells of wee.
Well, I do wish. Who are you waiting to see then?
I'm waiting to see Ali.
Questions.
Well, you know, he's such a good pharmacist. I come to him with all sorts of complaints, you know. He's always able to diagnose whatever I've got.
I better keep
Yes.
the rest about the pharmacist a secret.
Annie always tells me what a nag she is.
Oh dear. Well, so those stories were true then? Hmm.
She's
Going
found out,
round the
she's caught up,
village.
she's catching me up about the
Stories.
pharmacist. Oh dear.
Nothing that isn't true.
Oh, you're proud of it, are you?
Am I letting the cat out of the bag here?
No, it's just a normal sort of
Relationship?
acquaintanceship.
What did I just say?
Acquaintanceship, I said. What did you think?
What was that? I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
Well. Oh my goodness. And you're brown owl as well. I mean, really.
Sorry. I'm enjoying it too much.
What's brown owl got to do with this?
See, if this turns out to be fatal, it'll be awful for the brownies, won't it?
It will.
I think I'll be able to have it seen to.
No, I
Because
don't think-
Ali's
I don't
very
have
good.
to see it. Moles aren't fatal. Pharmacists
dear.
are.
It's such a relief for the brownies.
It's lovely. It's lovely when we're all dancing on that toadstool.
But perhaps that's where you got it.
Has anyone told her she should wear clothes?
It's not a real toadstool. It's only a paper matey thing.
Oh.
She can't
Very
even pronounce
right.
matey right. It's mache.
Is it Meiji? Meiji? I keep saying all the wrong words today.
Dear, I do wish she'd hurry up anyway.
Yes, well, he's busy, you know. He's very busy.
Happy days are here.
I wish you'd hurry up and die.
Oh, don't.
So, what have you got then?
Well, I'm just waiting for my cough sweets, aren't I?
Tell me something
Cough
interesting,
sweets.
for Christ's sake. Cough sweets. Tell me something interesting, woman.
Really? You have a prescription for cough sweets?
God, she
Well,
doesn't.
yes, they're very special. They've got a
pathetic,
special
it is.
ingredient.
Oh,
They're only just
she's
been
into
legalised.
drugs. Maybe she's into drugs.
Did he do that then? Did he do this?
Well,
I
if
didn't
you
know
ask
he did that.
nicely, yes.
I'm not going to tell her. I'm not going to tell her. Shall I tell her? Shall I tell her? Shall I tell her my secret?
Shall I?
Did I just say shall I out loud?
Oh,
Oh dear, my mole.
it does hurt, you know.
Oh, it does
And it
hurt.
itches.
So itchy. I think I'm getting one on my knee.
She just blown off.
Oh dear.
okay, thank you. Lovely bit of reincorporation. Thank you very much.
Monkey. That's pretty cool.
Great, I love that. You taught us that one, John.
I know.
Okay.
I think we make up the titles as we go along. And then
Shall we do
forget
another
them.
one?
Yes.
Thank you.
Another genuine audience member here. So this isn't fixed.
Monkey.
Stage directions, paper chase.
Okay, thank you. Because one of the presenters has inadequately prepared for this evening,
Which one?
me, we don't have any paper stage directions, so I think we're going to need a couple more sort of monkeys. So we want 2 people to play a scene, and I'm going to suggest Jill, who hasn't been up yet, and Paul, who has been, but that's okay, because you'll play a nice scene together. And we need stage directions. Scott, can you come up and stage direct Paul intermittently?
Okay.
And, or in fact, should we just have one stage director? Is that adequate?
No, I'd have 2.
You'd have one for each?
I'll come and do Jill.
Thank you. Okay, so can we have an occupation that both of these people share?
Flower arranging.
Flower arranging. Okay. You are a pair of flower arrangers.
Jill storms into the room and throws flowers at Paul.
Oh, these stupid flowers, they're not the right ones we asked for.
Paul gets to his knees and begs.
What's wrong with them? Please don't take it out on me.
But we were told they were to be red roses. These are pink.
Jill picks up all the vases.
Look at them. Pink. They need to be red. They're pink. They're pink. They're not going to pay us for pink ones.
No, it's not my fault.
This is your fault. You do the ordering. You go down to the market and buy the silly things.
Jill looks desperately at her watch.
And look, they're going to be here in 30 minutes for their red roses.
Paul turns his nose up in disgust.
Jill gets very concerned about Paul.
Hey, was that your hip gone again?
Paul pushes her away.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. It's gone. It's gone. I can't cope with all this.
But don't mind the vase.
Jill notices you just walked all over her flowers.
Oh no!
You've just walked all over the pink ones.
They're all crumpled. Well, you should have picked them up while you were down on the floor. Oh, honestly.
Have we got any paint? Can we paint them?
Hey, we've got the spray paint
In the shed.
in the shed.
Paul quickly
Why'd you
runs
get-
out and gets the spray paint and returns.
Quickly. Got the same character.
And returns.
Jill remembers she's got crepe paper in her bag.
Ooh, we've got some of that red crepe paper. We could make some flowers. I'll go and get some.
Am I spraying these then still?
Oh,
or we
yes,
just...
yes, we need to spray those as well. Now, no.
What about that?
Oh, pretty good.
Yeah.
Where's that
Where's
little
that
bit of
vase?
pink bit underneath?
Oh.
Jill remembers the time.
Oh, 5 minutes. Let's get spraying. I think spraying's going to be quicker than the crepe paper. I'll put them in the vase.
Paul knocks over the vase.
Oh! You're so clumsy! Oh, get the other vase.
The first wedding guest has arrived at the front of the church.
Oh, my goodness me.
They're here.
Shall we just...
Paul hides.
Just
Jill is left to explain.
Hello.
And cut. Which is your beer here?
The tall one. That's mine. That one there. That I didn't want right now.
Okay, so now to game that Richard organised earlier.
No, I'm not giving this to you, John. Sorry, there's a whole backstory to that little vignette here. That wasn't part of the act. That was serious, tragic stuff, that was. Okay, so this is another of the preordained bits of the evening, so we know what's happening. So I'm going to call upon Kate, who's already here, and Mr. Scott Kingsnorth again, and Mr. John Oram.
Oh God.
Yeah,
Yeah, sorry about this. And we're all going to go over here, and we're going to.
We're all going to go over here.
We are to start with. John's
Except
not,
John.
isn't it? Well, apparently, except John, and we're going to play a game called Hitchhiker, and it will become apparent how this goes.
Are you going to Bognor?
I am. I'm going to Bognor.
Marvellous!
Yeah. What a coicky dicky.
Oh,
Bognor.
thank you.
I've got I've got an aunt in Bognor.
Have you?
Yeah.
Have you? Well, I've got an uncle in Bognor.
Have you?
Yes.
What's his name?
His name's Walter.
That's unfortunate.
It is. Oh, it's so.
I'll say it in a minute. Walter.
Yes.
I used to know a Cornishman called Walter. Walter.
This could take some time, couldn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, are you going to go and see your aunt? Who are you seeing?
I'm going to see my uncle.
Your uncle.
You're going to see your aunt. What a
I'm going to
coincidence.
see my aunt, yes.
So what's your aunt called?
Beryl. Are you laughing at me?
No, I just had a little something in my throat.
Oh.
Yes, I wouldn't be so
Good,
rude.
good,
You've been
good,
so
good,
kind as to. Okay.
Oh yeah, me get. God.
You've done this before.
Hello.
Hello. It's very kind of you to stop for me.
That's
I'm
my pleasure.
very urgent mission.
Ah.
You mind if I smoke? You mind if I smoke my Gauloise?
Well,
I
if
have
you
to smoke-
open the
I
window,
open
would
the
you just
window.
open the window? Then we'll be all right with a
I
bit of
have
smoke.
I have to smoke my Gauloise. I am. How do you say? I am method actor. I am in film about existential gangster, and I have 6 months. I have to live like existential gangster to get into the part.
Just my bloody luck.
Who are you?
I
Are you
just,
film? Are you in film also?
I'm in real life. Okay.
What is that?
I'm in
What
real
is
life.
that? What is real life? What
I
is that?
do an honest day's work to
I am
put
actor.
food on the table
I have never done a day's work in my life.
and bread and
First,
butter.
I am French in spite of my accent. Secondly, I am actor. I do not know this work. It disgusts me, work. Anyway, life is meaningless. We are all going to die. What do I care?
Where you heading, eh?
Bogner.
Oh, get the fuck, that's where I'm going to.
Are you Welsh? Are you Welsh?
Nay, I'm from Glasgow.
You're from Glasgow.
Aye.
Why do you want to go to Bognor?
That's where you're going, isn't it?
It's where I'm going, yeah.
Well, that's good enough for me then.
Bognor's not good enough for anyone.
Isn't it?
What have you got business in Bognor?
I found some business, no worry.
Oh,
I found some
so
business in
what line
Bognor.
are you in?
What you need doing?
What do I need
can do it.
doing?
I'm Jack of all trades.
Well,
me.
I need. Really? You can do anything?
Aye, aye.
Well, I need someone to disappear. I need someone in Bogner to disappear.
I'm not a fucking magician, man.
You don't have to be a
I'm a
magician.
labourer, for Christ's sake.
Could you labour with, see, on the back seat there, shotgun? See that shotgun on the back seat?
Oh, aye.
Could you labour with that, do you think?
I could get used to it, eh? Aye, aye.
Well, don't fire it at the police.
Well, hello.
Thank you very much.
You alright?
What's this gun doing here?
Nothing.
I've never seen a gun in a car before, and I've done
I've
a lot of hitchhiking.
Oh. First time for everything.
Can you keep looking at the road, please? You're making me nervous. Have you got a speech impediment?
Yeah.
Have you? Do people take the piss a lot of you at all? Because I don't know if you've noticed, but I have a little difficulty speaking too.
Didn't notice at all.
Yeah. It's not just that you're nervous because of the gun.
Well, it's
I tell you what, I think I don't like it.
Guns are expensive.
Yeah,
I'm turning round.
Oh, I need to be careful. That car's coming.
There we go. You can grab it. You open the door and grab my gun.
Do I have to?
Yes.
Can I put it somewhere else?
I'll put it somewhere else.
I'm going to put it in the back. Why have you got a gun?
Close the door.
Oh, why have you
The
got,
light's still on. Close it.
why have you got a gun?
Everyone needs a gun.
I haven't got a gun. I didn't need a gun in my life.
Well, I'm not sharing it.
I don't want it.
Good.
Are you laughing?
You've not got it.
Are you laughing at me? Get in then. Oh, it's you again.
Thank you. So my glamorous assistant will once again offer the envelope.
It'll work, isn't it? You look like a genuine member of the audience. And read it out if you don't mind.
So, multiple personality.
Ah, marvellous. We need 3 chairs for this. So we have one person. Oh, is it?
We
Do
normally
people
have
come
one
in?
chair, two chairs, and then the other personality swaps chair.
Yeah. So Scott's going to explain the game because I have not got as good a grip on it as Scott
Right.
has.
So we need let's have a first date
And what-
scenario.
Yeah.
So who wants to go on a date? Chris.
Oh, yes.
You're going to be our date, and then we need 3 people to play your date, your Tinder match. So who do you want?
Sheila hasn't jumped up yet, so Sheila's one match.
Yes.
Okay, Richard, seeing that tonight's your
Yes.
night. And who else do you want, Richard?
Somebody who'd like to volunteer.
Anyone feeling up for this? Okay, it's you.
Me.
Yeah. Okay. So we need 3 different sort of personality types. Who's going to go first? Richard. What sort of personality type do we want? An emotion for Richard. So something quite extreme. Do we want anger, passion, lust?
Lust.
Lust. Of course it is. Okay, next would be Sheila. You're going to be number 2, and we need something for Sheila to embody. So we need personality traits. Or
Suspicious.
Suspicious. That's great. And then Kate, number 3.
Shy.
Shy. Okay. All right. So who do we want to start with? Shy would probably be first, seeing it's a Tinder date. So here we go. We start, and when I say next, you swap to the next person. So. Right, you want to sit down?
It's the same person.
The same person here,
they're all
but
playing
suddenly
the same person.
as a personality changes, as the person
Yeah.
changes, the personality changes, but the character is the same one.
So Chris believes he's speaking to the same person. Yeah.
Yes, so use the same name. So I'll stand it.
Hi. Hello. It's lovely to see you. My name's Chris.
Hi. I'm Sonia.
Sonia. Just like to check. You know, I'm kind of, with these dates, I'm a little bit new to it, but my friends put me on to Tinder, so it's kind of, I'm quite excited, to be honest with you. How are you?
Switch.
You got big muscles.
You're quite
What?
complimentary.
I thought you were going to say busty. I'm quite busty, aren't I? Yeah, they've been enhanced, but they feel really nice. You know.
People had said about Tinder.
People sometimes say to me about it, they say, "Oh, Sonia, your tits have got bigger."
As a devout Christian, I'm kind of just not really used to that sort of language.
Why have you advertised?
Advertised? Well, my understanding.
What do you want?
Love.
How much?
How
Switch.
much? How much?
Love, well, you look pretty big, if you know what I mean. Are you big? Do you know what I mean? Yes? Do you know what I mean?
Gosh.
Do my tits look big in this?
Switch.
This is exactly what I read about on the internet. It's kind of like, I am. Oh.
Only joking.
I thought my friends had commented, and I thought, no, as a Christian, I would basically stay true to my beliefs. And I thought what we'd have is a really nice conversation just about life and the universe and what is it that you do for work?
Well, I don't think I should be telling you what I do for work. I want to know more about you.
Oh,
Yes. But why are you looking for love?
well, I've kind of been single for 33 years, and I kind of thought it's about time I got out into the world and I really engaged with the opposite sex. I'd like to find Miss Right, and probably within, 5 or 6 weeks, settle down. I don't ask much. Is that a bit too truthful?
Oh, I don't know. It's a bit scary, actually.
Oh, it's not that bad. I'm a really nice guy. I'm a little bit shy and retiring, I must admit. So,
Would you say that I was Miss Right? Hey? Look how they wobble. Would you? I mean, I'm talking about the jelly that you so kindly ordered me for dessert, of course. Look how it wobbles.
I'm as red as the jelly.
So, yeah, it becomes you. It does become you, yes. So tell me, how many lovers have you had in the last 2 weeks?
Lovers? What do you mean by lover?
Well, I want to know more about you before I tell you anything about me. And how tall are you? Because I was asking for somebody very tall, but you don't look very tall.
1 metre 72 centimetres, but if I stand on a box, I'm taller.
What does that mean in feet and inches?
About old money. About 5'8.5".
Oh, I do like a tall man and a muscular man. So where are you going to take me then on our first proper date?
I'll take you.
Yes.
Where shall I take you?
If I decide you suit me and fit me.
I think Sunday service.
Sunday service?
Yes.
Or is that a nightclub?
No, it's the evangelical church just down the road.
Oh, look, I've dropped a dollop of custard on my bazoo. Would you like to
See?
How are we doing for time?
39 minutes.
Okay, so one more game from the envelope, please. Envelope man.
You're a genuine audience member.
Yes.
No fixing. Read it out, please.
Hollywood director.
Okay, and okay, so Yes, we'll go with what we've got. It's similar to the stage directions, but different. So we need 2 people to do a scene. Would anybody like to do this one? Jill? And someone to play with Jill?
To play with me.
Chris? Chris, yeah, cool, thank you. And directors, if we could have Paul, yeah. And
Normally there's only one director.
Yeah.
oh, is it only one director?
Yeah.
Okay, Paul, your director. Okay, so these 2 people, what situation are they in? What?
It's a scene from a movie, so.
Okay. Well, okay, what's their location?
A big house.
They're in a big house.
Mansion house.
Okay, so sort of Jane Austen type.
Yeah.
Okay,
Bit of drama.
Jane Austen
Well,
type
a
house.
murder maybe. You know those big
Well,
mansion
Agatha
houses.
Christie's murder.
Okay. Agatha Christie.
Yeah.
Someone's died or is going to die.
Oh, Vicar.
Yes. How are you, Mr. Dibley?
I thought I heard a scream.
You look somewhat pale. Would you like to sit down?
Thank you.
Oh dear.
Thank you.
Praise be,
No.
praise be.
Perhaps.
No, this is rubbish!
Oh my
This is
God.
absolute rubbish. There's been a murder. You just can't just, this is cucumber sandwich stuff. There's been somebody killed. And put some back into it.
Oh my God. Did you hear that?
A murder!
Yes. Well, we don't know yet. We heard a scream.
There might be a
I
murder!
said, pull yourself together, man, and come and look with me. Come on.
No!
Come
You
on.
know what happens? People always come from behind the door!
Oh my God. Look, how am I going to cope with you? Have you got your mobile phone?
Phone!
Call the policeman, for God's sake. Look, this body's lying here.
1930!
Look.
Cat! What are you doing, man? What's all this stuff?
Yeah, what's all that, Chris?
What is it?
Phone.
It's a phone. It's a period phone, but they weren't this big. They were only that big. Now, have you never read a history book? Just.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Okay.
I should think so.
Okay.
Call yourself an actor.
I can do this.
Stanislavski. Just remember Stanislavski. Action.
Stanislavski. My uncle Stanislavski told me.
Is he here too?
He is.
Well, is he a suspect? Haven't you called the police yet?
Hello, police. There has been a murder. Hampton Manor.
In the library.
In the library. With the candlestick. Yes, we are upset. Thank you. They're going to be here soon. I don't know what I'm going to do. We're not going to get through this.
She was your friend, wasn't she?
She was my mother. Oh my God! You so wanted to state things.
I knew you were going to introduce me to her, weren't you? Oh, Chris, how are we ever going to get through? I think the money I'll inherit will help. Yeah! What are we going to do then?
Have you read the script? Have you read the script all the way through, both of you?
Yes.
What happens at the end?
Well, basically, we get away with the murder, but my guilt overcomes me, and I basically...
But it overcomes you later, not now. We don't want all this weeping. It's an action movie at this point. We want to put some action into it. Now we want to see the murder up close. And then we have flashbacks. Right? Flashbacks. all the misery and the tears can come at the end. Action!
Oh, Chris.
I need a bigger candlestick! Bigger candlestick!
Shut up! Shut up!
I think, Chris, that's enough. That's enough.
One more! Cut!
We're going to have one more thing, if we may. Could we have everybody who has been in any scene up here tonight? And we're just going to do something called freeze tag. Is that right?
Yeah.
So if anybody can remember anything of what happened this evening, this is going to work, and if nobody can remember anything, it isn't.
Beans! Beans!
Freeze. King Guido.
Freeze! Do you like my tits? Do you like my tits? They're good. Do you like
Freeze.
oh yes,
Absolutely
Freeze.
lovely.
Flowers for you, red roses, oh, they're so lovely. Oh, the paint strip. Oh dear.
What are you doing with my gun?
Well.
Why is there a gun on the floor?
Well, somebody left it there.
Freeze. Look, you're getting a bit too close to the edge. You know we lost one of the little ones just now. Now come away.
Freeze! Look at the continent disappearing into the distance. Our plot has worked. We are getting further and further away from Johnny Foreigner.
I don't want to go any
You don't
further.
want-
No!
But we are going to America!
I want to stay.
Mother!
No, I want
Mother!
to
And I will...
Give me that candlestick!
And stay.
I mean, the idea, not, we don't want to spend a lot of time doing this, but we just have some sort of. Do you want to come out here, Kate and Richard? Do you want to come out here as well?
Kate's disappeared.
Kate's gone to check her car's locked.
Somebody drove into my car today while I was parked, or while we were
Well,
parked.
it was only about an hour before your show.
But the woman who did it had a sensor in the back of her car. This is fascinating, isn't it? And it didn't work.
Oh.
So
she just carried on going.
No,
She heard
didn't.
a crunch.
She came and
She went,
knocked
"No,
on the
I've got
door.
another
But she came and knocked on the door. It was parked outside our house. She knocked on the door and told us.
Yeah, she left the car on the side of my car, and then, but I now can't open the driver's side. Isn't that fascinating? I'm glad I told that story. Is this another
You
game?
wasn't in the car.
I
Nobody
wasn't
was
in the car.
Could become one. Are you filming?
So, yeah, so it's Kate.
Hello, the car is safe.
Yay.
But she did just reverse into
You
someone's...
just missed
Yeah,
a really,
yeah.
Come and sit out here, Kate. You just missed a fascinating story.
Tell it again!
No.
Tell it again, Joe!
No.
Tell it again!
Johnny's going to repeat for you.
So what was
dull,
so the idea tonight was to look at the format of games, really. So it's a kind of series of I mean, you might call them sketches. What I found really interesting about it was throwing games at us that we kind of hadn't done for a long while. What we've been doing in the past with games is that we've had a sort of menu up on the wall, so that we kind of know the games that we're going to play, and we might even know who's going to play them. So we've been playing games maybe that we feel sort of comfortable with or safe with. So who wants to do the I don't know, lines in the pocket. I mean, we've got quite a large repertoire of them now. So I like work life. So we've been playing a bit safe. So what I liked about tonight, that it was a little bit more risky because okay, and I don't even quite remember what that game was. I mean, I kind of teach most of the games, but and then people will bring in games that they've heard of, but sometimes we only know the structure of the game, but we might not know the name of them. So when Monkey came up, but the moment it was explained, or we kind of worked it out, we knew. So it was probably looser than it has been in the past.
I thought that the giving to the audience an opportunity to contribute without you lot losing control was very clever.
Without us losing control.
Without you didn't hand too much over. You handed enough to make us all who were doing this, taking things out of envelopes. We were happy to be involved, and you had the opportunity to think, well, we have involved the audience, but you didn't give too much authority away to us.
I just mentioned it to Bridget because it's about what this talk would be, what we'd be doing after this, and I said, well, we might ask, for instance, so I'll ask it again now, because then you answered me. Is how comfortable audiences feel about being asked for suggestions, where there's a kind of panic set in. If you point to a particular person, say, Sam, have you got? If you pick like what the line is for the audience members is going to be specific to each people, but whether you feel sitting in the front row of an improv show or having to come up with a good idea, whatever that is.
But you don't pick on particular people in the audience, do you? You shouldn't. I don't think you should direct it at somebody in particular. You just say, has anybody got a suggestion?
Yeah, it's the right level of involvement.
Yeah, but if you pointed at somebody and said, have you got a suggestion, that's something else.
Yeah.
I don't think that's fair.
You can say, what's your profession?
Yeah.
And we use that.
Yes, that's fine.
Which is another thing, and that's something that we haven't done, but we just ask a particular person what their profession is.
Because I do think there's a risk that I've been to a few of these shows, and in terms of your suggestions, they can occupy a similar group of things. Whereas I think if you were to pick on someone and ask what's your profession, it's throwing in a bit more of a round.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, there's also a little kind of interview thing, say, what's your name, Sam? And what's your profession?
I'm an operations manager.
What does that entail?
Doctor.
So I'm responsible for the upkeep of Trinity Theatre.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Operations being?
The day-to-day running of the building rather than anything artistic. So it's a terrible one to ask someone because it requires a full
But basically we have a little conversation and then we draw things from that. But you can sometimes, I think, go around and you can tell whether someone's is confident or playful or will, So that I think we can draw information a little bit from that as well.
Sure.
But Bridget, you were saying, what was it you were saying to me at the beginning when I said about?
Well, I like the idea that the audience could help towards the whole performance, that we can take part. But I thought tonight, having an envelope, so you've actually chosen the way the performances will happen, but yet we were choosing from the envelope, so we did have some part in that. But you had a structure in mind, which I think was probably helpful for you.
Because you have quite a big part, because there is an entire alternative evening that will now never exist, still in the envelope. There are a lot of games in that envelope.
Yeah. So I think,
Should point out only Richard and Kate knew what was in the envelope.
Have you got the envelope?
Yeah, I've got the envelope.
I'm just wondering
I'm just
wondering if it was presented as like a menu. And so all you had was these titles, and two things would happen. One is that there would be members of the audience who've been to the shows before and will know certain games that they like, or that sounds an interesting game, merely because of the title. So maybe if you pick three out and just see if
What
there was
now,
a
you mean?
yeah.
What, the remaining games?
Yeah, everybody
Can I-
that knows
Paul?
yeah,
Sorry, it's just behind you.
that would be
So we did go through a selection process
I'm
to arrive at the
yeah.
envelope game.
So, 3 random games that we didn't play. Stage directions, paper chase. That's a bit of a variation
We
on
did
the
do
one
that.
that
No, we
we
did do that
did.
one.
Like, this is
Yeah, but we
this
didn't
is
have any
the
paper to chase.
paper
No,
chase
because
one.
of my
so it's
failure.
similar, but you don't have people directing from the side.
But,
You
don't,
have
but don't,
stage
don't tell them the game, just the title.
All
You
right,
give them
okay.
3 titles
All right.
and see from people whether they.
Satellite.
Satellite.
Well, satellite TV. Isn't it?
Oh, okay, that's all right.
Satellite TV,
Press conference.
press conference,
One more. Status emotional exchange.
Okay, so I've got a choice of 3. Can you read them out again?
Need to work hard tonight, aren't they? Status emotional exchange, press conference, and satellite TV.
So which one? Satellite TV, hands up. Oh, that wasn't my hand going up.
Hands up what? Hands up.
If you want, if that sounds
you
like
like
a
the
game
sound of
that
it.
you would like, satellite TV. Yeah, anybody and everybody. Well, yes, just people that maybe not know the games. What was the other one?
Press conference.
Press conference
Yes,
Sounds
I think
good.
and
I've seen that.
Status
emotional
and emotional
status
exchange.
or emotional exchange. Did you vote twice?
Yeah, am I not allowed to?
I voted twice.
You're not allowed to vote. at all
Well, it's
because you know
either
what
one
they
that the press conference was that where? That's kind of press conference. So whether the titles would entice people, so that again it'd be random. Press conferences that have interest is that you send the person who's the subject of the press conference, you send them out of the room, and then you decide who they are and what statement it is they're going to make. So it might be Trump announcing that he's a complete twit and a failure and he's going to resign. Wouldn't that be wonderful? And then the person comes in, and then we, the performers, might then be asking him questions like press, but the audience are open to ask questions too.
Are you trying to get him to say,
That,
I'm a
yeah, you
failure?
don't give too many hints. He's got to discover who he is and what his announcement is.
Okay.
The last time.
So he's got to give, or she has to give him because it's Trump, the illusion of being this person, even if they don't know who it is. So it's a nice, it's kind of a nice game.
The last time we did that, I was the person speaking, and I was Stephen Hawking, and I was making the announcement the moon was made of cheese.
Yes, yes,
But I didn't know that.
yeah.
Did you do the voice?
We've played that.
Eventually.
We played that a couple
Yeah,
of times.
yeah,
with
got
the-
it.
We
Yeah.
played that a
I
few
asked
times
if
with
he
the
was
audience, and
any
each time Trump has been the subject
Yeah.
because he's such a concern. So how do you feel? Do you have any expectations of what would happen tonight? I mean, not you know.
Not particularly.
No.
I think it was fun. What I liked was it was spontaneous and fast. So we didn't have a lot of time to think. We just, the games came up. We kind of knew the game, and we just did it. And I like that pace.
I thought the pace was faster than I've seen when I've seen the big ones.
Yeah.
And I thought also, I wondered how you lot felt, the performers, about the freedoms that you started to develop. I mean, your obscenity was
Obscenity? What?
But the point I want to make really is that does it release you in a way that you find it easier to deal with any subject, whether it's drum or whether it's bosoms?
Yeah.
You feel quite happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when
You did that very well. I was very impressed.
I think because it's quick,
Yes, it
you
was
just
quick.
get to it.
Yeah.
I think.
There's an immediate response. Was when history came up. I think Paul mentioned history. His time in history. I thought, oh my God, I'm not great on history. Or concerned that I might not be. But then it's kind of it dissipates. I mean, the gunpowder plot, pretty much. we know enough. But it's kind of interesting when you do get into it and you don't know the subject.
Well, I don't think I would have let any really obscure bit of history go through.
Well, that's the interesting thing, isn't it? I mean, because as an MC, or whatever we want to call the host or the MC, they have a duty to the audience, and they have a duty of responsibility to protecting the performers. And actually what you're really protecting is the performance, because people will try and give you something that is maybe putting us, the performers, in a difficult place.
That happens quite a lot with the audience.
It happens
sometimes
quite a lot.
Will
They
throw
want
things
like
at-
to give us a bad time,
Yeah.
to test us,
Yeah, yeah.
which actually
Yeah.
the audience don't want to see us suffer. They want to see the characters suffer,
Yeah.
but they don't want to see us suffer. And if we are suffering, we need to fail with grace, because we are open to failure. I mean, my favourite evenings are not the ones that are just high, because it doesn't kind of give evidence really that it is improvised. I think a few dips are kind of useful to the evening, that it just, it has these peaks and troughs. Obviously we want more peaks than troughs.
Sure, but when I've come to these shows before, I find if a sketch didn't really work out, I kind of forget it. But it's the ones that work well that I sort of remember.
Well, do come
That's what we
again.
hope you do.
But I
But me, it's the other way round.
Well, I was going to say, perversely, I find when I speak to performers, I was like, I thought that sketch went through. I don't really remember that one. What happened? I could have done something better.
I
I
think
think as a performance, you'll
throwaway,
fixate on the ones
Yeah.
that went badly, and as the audience, I remember the ones that went well.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
I think mostly audiences are on our side, and they have an understanding. I mean, there are people who do improvisation, and if they're good improvisers, they come with a generous heart. Bad improvisers, and well, fuck you, really. That kind of, I'm not interested in that sort of, but it's and the people that don't know improvisation think, oh my god, how do they do that, sort of thing. But it ain't. Anyway,
I admired the MCs because they were making a judgment when to bring it. Milliseconds, it might be going ever so well, or it might have done its job, and the MC was a crucial figure in it. I thought they did it very well. Paul, wherever he is.
the kind of the outside, or what we call the back line
Yes.
in improvisation, are very handy, because they take an audience perspective, and an audience time is very different to performance time. So they can judge when to wipe the
Yes,
stage.
yeah.
We call it wiping the stage. When Paul runs across, it's sort of like drawing a curtain across that. All the lights go down.
Yeah.
That's the kind of signifier of. And you try and find a moment when it's peaking to do that. Really. Favourite scenes or scenes that let's start positive. Favourite scenes in tonight.
I thought the hitchhiker was great.
Yeah, Hitchhiker was good.
It's a nice one. It's a nice game.
I'd like to say that
how quickly did you pick up that Kate had become me?
I think, yes,
Straight
you
away.
change place.
You move across and you become the driver.
Yeah.
So I've played that game before, but the person who becomes the driver takes on the attribute of the person who was the passenger in the previous one.
Oh, okay. So you
it's
move that.
permutations on a
Yeah.
variations on a
I
theme.
think we've played it that way as well.
So you basically go out the other way. So the person becomes.
So you had the stutter and Kate was the passenger.
Yes.
So it was a couple of years ago. So I may misremember. I think the driver gradually takes on the attribute of the person who is the passenger, and then it.
Okay.
And then
I think we did do that. What we kind of decided, and I don't know how well we did it tonight. I think we lost it a bit. Is that we developed the story of the driver.
Yeah.
So
We,
you know when you do hitchhike,
Yeah.
which I used to do, you get into conversations with the drivers, and often drivers will pick people up because they like to tell stories. So you develop, because the character that remains, you can develop his story throughout the piece.
Yeah.
So that's probably why. So they kind of. And some of the things we've done with drivers have been sort of, I mean, the drivers have sometimes in workshops they've done really kind of quite difficult things to imitate. I just put in a stutter. Actually,
Yeah, we got to thank you for that later.
it only happened because it actually happened. So I kept it going.
That worked.
So I think it's if we develop the story of the driver a bit more.
I agree. Yeah.
I'm not
I
sure.
like that monkey.
I love the
monkey.
monkey.
The monkey worked really
I thought
well.
the monkey was really
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Considering all of us have forgotten what we
Yeah. But that's what I
game
liked
was.
about the freshness. So that you did know what you were doing when you started it, when you got in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think there was something about the contrast in a way with Jill and Jean
Yeah.
and their thoughts being these two chaps behind them. There was
Yeah.
something about the contrast between the people
Yeah.
that really made it very funny.
Yes. Yeah. That could go a long way, I think, too, couldn't
Yeah.
it? Could develop much more than it
Yeah.
did today. Yeah.
What I love about this group actually is the diversity of it,
Yeah,
and
it's
I mean,
great.
I always enjoy playing with Jean. I think she's a lovely performer, and but to play those, so actually kind of, I drive Jean home sometimes. So I've known Jean a long while, so it's that too. So there's a kind of play there to kind of feed Jean things that she can kind of take off on, kind of playing a character in a way that because Jean does these lovely monologues, so that sort of feed her stuff that she can natter about. It's great. So good. So those two. So the thing too about the evening is you get a fast game, a slow game. The games have different qualities. So when you're randomly picking games, it's difficult because certain games have more speed to them, don't they? But
So
I
you think that
felt that was quite
the
balanced.
balance of numbers tonight works particularly well, whereas in the big performances
Yes.
you're performing to it. Whereas this was much more, we'll open it up and you can comment or you can be part of it,
Yes.
and it's balanced.
Yeah.
I don't know whether I've expressed that
No.
very well.
I think we're concentrating. I mean, we've got a big repertoire of games, and yesterday, for instance, we really started pushing towards improving the quality of the performances, and maybe just stop for a while, learning new games, but learn the quality of listening. And I mean, personally, I've become really interested in what I'm calling the speed of life, which is creating a 40-minute play or an hour-long play. And you don't ask the audience anything. You just say, trust us, this is all made up. I get slightly irritated about having to prove all the time that we're improvising. I mean, was it a good evening? Was it a bad evening? Was it a mediocre evening, which is the worst? Bad is much more interesting. But so sometimes, but what Bridget was saying at the beginning when I was talking to her was that this feeling of engagement,
Well, this is awesome. This is much more intimate, partly because it's smaller, partly
Yeah.
because we know you, and partly because we're not on a bloody stage
it's the same level.
with lights on us
Yes.
where
Yeah.
we cannot see the audience. I mean, that really does create a much bigger distance than in here.
Yeah.
There's something very nice about this intimate space.
I think also because if you've just got smaller numbers of people performing rather than, you know, we've been up to 15 people on stage, and when we've been working with the Germans or the
Yeah.
Poles or the Belgians, you know, we can have 20 people on stage, and your performance time is minuscule, so you don't really get comfortable on stage. So there's a kind of air of tension about the whole thing.
Yes.
No, so these are really about 5 or 6 people max to do, although there were more tonight. How many people? I can't remember.
Well, I think
Everyone.
10 people I'd say were playing.
Okay.
Yeah, Martin didn't get
Okay. Okay. Well.
Sorry, because Martin
Is
was
anything
behind
you
the
want
light.
to say?
Only other thing I want to add really is it's really nice to see so much of John performing.
Yes.
I don't usually.
His farts were wonderful.
Yeah, you went in the breeze.
The farts.
Yes.
You ain't seen nothing yet. Poor Beck.
3 cans of beans it was.
But anyway, thanks everybody. So, do you know if you're sort of thinking about doing some improvisation yourself, whatever your age, we're doing a series of I'm doing a series of workshops now with the group in smaller groups, so we have more time for individual kind of development, because there's about 13 in the group now. But we meet every Monday, so you're very welcome to come along to those. But October possibly we're doing another show on the 15th. 5th on the
Friday
5th.
the 5th.
But I think shortly after that, I think I might just do an open workshop in October, a day's workshop. So if people want to come and just come along and give it a go, that would be kind of an opportunity. I think you'd be surprised, actually, what you can do. I've recently been working with groups, individuals in London, where they told their story by making an exhibition in a suitcase, and people have come along. Sahid, I'm particularly thinking of, and she's Somali, and she escaped from Somalia and came with nothing when she was younger, and now she's married and she's got children, but she's very covered up and she's very quiet. When I first started working with her, she hardly spoke and she was quite covered up. Slowly, as we started talking about what her suitcase and what her story was, she started to unwrap, and I saw more of her lovely face, and she started talking more, and we created this. She had no objects to put in her suitcase, so we went and looked at the internet, and she picked out photographs of what she remembered of her life living in the desert, nomadic life, where she would have to walk, 6 hours to get water, carry it back. That was her life, and talking how small she felt in the desert, and how small she feels in the city because of the towering buildings. So we had this desert scene and she felt she couldn't make all kinds of stuff like that. But slowly her confidence grew and grew, and I got her to sit by her suitcase in an exhibition room, so people could come and talk to her about her exhibition, and eventually she stood up in public to about 30, 40 people in a mosque with her suitcase there, and she talked about her suitcase. But this thing about improvisation is more about life than it is about performing. I mean, Paul is very hot on that. Do you want to say something about that?
Well, I just think it's better than any management course or training course or anything I've ever been on while I was in business, because I think it does teach you almost everything: relationships, status, which we, as John would say, go through various levels of status in a day, and almost every conversation is status based. So yeah, I just think it's a great way of learning about life, even at advanced ages.
And what I feel proud about with this group, if I'm allowed to feel proud, because it feels like I'm taking some responsibility for it, but is that I feel anybody that comes into this group who hasn't performed before or has performed before can feel totally safe, because they're incredibly warm, generous. I mean, I love them.
I explain to people what I do on Monday nights. I say I go somewhere and pretend to be somebody else. But actually, and I've told this to John so many times, I actually find out who I really am most of the time.
Yes, yes. Anyway, thank you, Jean. Thank you, everybody. And
thank you.
Thank you for a lovely evening.
Lovely evening.